number out front? Guys. So what I want to do is I want to use something called the AC method. So what I want to do is I want to figure out what my A, B, and C are. Method. What? B? 4? Oh, 4. I thought you said more, and I was like, ooh. Yeah, it's 4. Okay, so what I do is I have to find AC, so I multiply the two A and C together. So I get what? They all came from the... Okay. Then, kind of like yesterday, I'm looking for what multiplies to 12 and adds to 13. And the reason I want to look for what adds to 13 is because 13 is my B value. 12 and 1. So what I'm going to do once I find those is I am going to separate my middle number. So I'm going to rewrite this. And I'm going to have 4x squared. That doesn't change. But instead of 13, I'm going to write plus 12x plus x plus 3 equals 0. No. I wanted this part of blue. The stuff I just wrote right here or off to the side? It says 4x squared and then plus 12x plus 1x plus 3 equals 0. Because 12 plus 1 equals 13. Oh, I know. It's kind of close. No, plus 1x. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to split into two groups. And divide out my common factors. Okay, so now that I've split my things up into my two groups, what can I take out of 4x squared and 12x? What number divides both of those? 4. And I can also, they both have x's, so I can also take out an x. 4 divides both 4 and 12, and then they also both have x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a 4x on the outside. And then 4x squared divided by 4x is x plus 3. Okay? What do I have in common with 1x and 3? 1. So I'm going to write plus 1, and then in parentheses just x plus 3, and it still equals 0. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to rewrite with the outside factors together in one group, and then the repeated factor gets its own group. So it's like the opposite of distributing. So I'm going to take the 4x and 1. Guys, be quiet. And I put them together in their own group. So I took the two outside pieces, the 4x and the 1, because those aren't inside parentheses. And then they go together in their own group. And then I just rewrite the repeated piece once, because it's like the opposite of distributing. Okay? Now it looks more like something we were doing yesterday, because I have the two sets of parentheses. Yeah? No, because, you know when you, like, distribute something? Let me grab a stick. So, like, if I had something like 3 times x plus 2 in parentheses to distribute, I'd go 3x plus 3 times 2. So I'm doing the opposite of that. Does that make more sense? Okay. Okay, so now this looks more like something I was doing yesterday at this point. So what do I want to do with my two sets of parentheses? Yeah, I equal them to 0 and solve. There's 4 practice problems on this side that I'll work through with you, so. So what I did is I took the stuff inside the parentheses and I set those equal to 0. And then from here, I just want to solve. So what do I do on my first equation to solve? Yeah, I'm going to subtract the 1, so then I have 4x equals negative 1. Then what? Divide by 4. So that one gives me x equals negative 1/4. And then on the second equation, what do I want to do? No, leave it as a fraction. Questions on that one? Yeah, always leave it as a fraction. Because now that we're getting higher up in math, we want things to be more precise. And 1/4 divides out nicely, but some of the fractions we'll get from here on out will divide out nicely, so it's simpler, or it's more precise to leave it in the fraction. What? Yes. Yep. Because this whole chapter is teaching you different methods to solve a quadratic. Listen, I'm explaining why. This whole test is on showing you're using different methods to solve quadratic equations. So I need you to show your work so I can see what method you used. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because there was nothing in common between x and 3. So I took out a 1, and that's why there's a 1 out front. Guys, be quiet. Can I work on number 2? Or are there still questions about 1? I'm gonna do number 3, but I'm gonna work in order. So can I go on to 2 now? Okay, so what I want to do here is I first want to figure out my A, B, and C. So A is 3, B is -7, C is 2. I always keep the sign with the number. So if I have negative or a minus, it makes the number negative. Okay, so then I want to figure out what AC is. So 3 times 2 is 6. What multiplies to positive 6 and adds up to -7? What multiplies to positive 6 and adds to -7? So, I heard someone say it. -6 and -1. -6 plus -1 equals -7. For real. Okay, so then I want to do my two groups. How I got the -6 and the -1. So, I was thinking of things that multiply to 6. I know 3 and 2 multiply to 6, because that's what I did to get it. Does 3 plus 2 give me 7? So my other numbers that multiply to 6 are 1 and 6. And 1 plus 6 gives me positive 7. I wanted it to be negative, so I made them both negative. Why did it have to be 6? Because I took my A and C and multiplied those together. Okay, so when I split into my two groups, what can I take out on my first group? Three and an x. So I write 3x out front. What is 3x squared divided by 3x? Just x, because I can subtract all my exponents. -6x divided by 3x, Hector? -2. What? It cancels out here too, because I have an exponent of 2 and an exponent of 1. So I subtract my exponents. On the second set, what can I take out? -1. I always want to make my number, my leading term. Yeah, right there. The maroon. Okay. Then I'm going to write -1. -1x divided by -1 is x. Positive 2 divided by -1, -2. Okay. Then I want to group the outside pieces together. So the 3x and the -1 are going to go together in a set of parentheses. And then the repeated piece only gets written once. Where are you confused? What color? Green. So how I got this piece? So I had the 3x and the -1 out front. That went in the first set. And then the piece that gets repeated, the x minus 2, I only write it once. Okay. So then what do I do from here? Set it equal to 0. Okay, how do I solve my first equation? Add 1 to both sides. Then what? Divide by 3, and I get x equals 1/3. And then the other one I just add 2 on the other side, and it gets me x equals 2. Questions there? Is it starting to make more sense now that we've done the second one? No? I was gonna do the third one. I wasn't gonna stop. Okay, but before I move on to the third one, what do I have to do before I can even start it? Add the 7. No, not add it. Subtract it. Can I move on, though? Okay, so I need to subtract it because I need it to equal 0. Just like yesterday, this one has to equal 0. Okay, so questions on the first step. Okay, so what do I want to do next? Get my A, B, and C. So A is 2, B is negative, what am I doing? Negative 5, and C is negative 7. So then tell me what to do from here. A and C, so 2 times negative 7. Okay. Then what? So once I get my AC, I'm trying to find what multiplies to AC and adds to the middle. So I'm looking for what multiplies to negative 14 and adds to negative 5. Negative 7 and 2. Because 2 minus 7 equals negative 5. So I'm going to split up my middle. Okay, then what? Not quite yet. Oh yeah, I split into 2 groups. So what do I have in common in my first group? The 2 2's and x. So I write 2x out front. What's 2x squared divided by 2x? No. 1x. So I'm just going to write the x because the 2's cancel out. And then 2x divided by 2x? No. Not 1x. Anything divided by itself is always 1. Okay? What can I take out of my second group? Negative 7. So negative 7x divided by negative 7 is 1x or x. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1. Still equals 0. Then what? I don't have... You mean put the x plus 1 is equal to 0? No, yeah, I want to rewrite it. So I take the 2 pieces that were together. So 2x minus 7 gets in one group. And then my second group is just x plus 1. Okay, then what do I want to do? Set it equal to 0. Then what? Add the 7. So I get 2x equals 7. Divide by 2. So I get x equals 7 halves. And then my second one? No, I want to leave it. It's 3.5, but I want to leave it as a fraction. So questions on number 3? Is it making more sense? Almost there? Well, we got one more, so. You get it? A little bit? Okay. Can I move on to number 4 yet? Or do you guys still need more time copying down 3? Okay. So someone tell me how to start number 4. Okay, then what? What? Okay. So I have my A, B, and C. Now what? Okay. So I have negative 4 times 5, which gives me negative 20. Oh, sorry, that's off the. What? Negative 10 and? No. You were so close. Negative 10 and... Positive 2. I said you were close. Okay, so I split it up. Now. Yeah. Okay, so. That's fine. You should be able, it'll give you the same answer at the end. It'll just, the steps in between kind of look different. Negative 2. Okay, so what do I get from my first group? Minus 1. Because I did a positive 2x minus, or divided by a negative. Because I always want to make my first number positive. Because 4 doesn't divide 2. Because I want it to be able to divide both numbers. Okay. Then what do I want to take out of my second group? Yeah, negative 5. So then negative 10x divided by negative 5. And positive 5 divided by negative 5? Minus 1. No, it's minus 1. Okay. Okay. Am I done? Okay, I gotta set them both equal to 0. Now I'm done. But what do I gotta do? Okay. So now I've got negative 2x equals 5. What the? There we go. Now what do I want to do? And I get x equals negative 5 halves. because you can always move the negative around. Okay? What do I want to do on my second equation? Okay, so how are you guys doing with this? Okay. Any questions about this that I can answer right now?